The encounter of Jesus with this man born blind after he is healed again emphasizes the relationship that what really is being tested in the sign is not the sign itself, but those who respond to it. We can see too behind it is the reference of Isaiah. Those who have eyes to see will see, but those who don't won't. So what you have going on here is Jesus, having responded to the man, shows back up and says, do you believe? Who is it that I might believe? Can he be received as a sign, not just as one who heals physically, but one who actually gives the very revelation of God? And the man says, I believe. Then the Pharisees, you notice here, play the stock opposite. They play the contrast. They see what is going on, but they do not see. And they ask, are you saying we're blind? Of course, to be asking whether they're blind or not, and obviously they aren't because they can see it, Jesus responds in a way to make sure that blindness means multiple things. It is not merely the inability to see physically. It is that in having one's physical sight cured, one still then now can face the bigger question, whether one can receive the sign that is given about who Jesus is. What this means then is that Jesus, as he comes to persons, and the more his sign is made evident, the more violence must be done in order to try to suppress the sign. So what you have going on then in the next passage is the end of the Lazarus story, where Jesus heals him. He is coming out. And if you notice, the same opponents stand there. And in response to people believing in him, rather than joining and receiving the sign, not just the activity, they have to respond with planning to kill him. Having not received the sign, opposition grows in order to show that the sign is being denied. Let me try to say that again. That what you have is the more the sign becomes evident in the world around, the more it takes to deny the sign, and therefore you have to work harder in order to deny it, which often leads in violence. Let's take an example. Let's take somebody who was dating somebody at some point. However, that one person tells that person they are done with them. Let's say the person cannot hear the sign that they still have a fixation on them. So they go to and begin looking outside windows at somebody. They begin following them to stores. That the more that the evidence is there in front of them, and the more they deny that, the more their behavior has to participate in a type of violence to deny the reality of what is there. Of course, the more they push that, the more it becomes evident that the sign of the breakup is there. In the same way in the Gospel of John, as the Gospel builds up, as the signs become evident, that those who deny it have to resort to more and more acts of violence and more denial that actually makes the sign more evident for what it is. It is never Jesus who is on trial in the Gospel of John. It is always those who encounter him. And even when those who encounter him come up to him, it becomes more evident that the issue is really them, not him.